You've made the world laugh, cry, cheer as one. Most importantly, you've made the world watch. For that, we want to thank you. Today, we honor the ones who put in the work for the love of the game.
Cutting the feed in 5.
You casted aside your individualistic dreams and came together as one voice.
4.
We need more time. It has to be now. Get ready.
You trained them to mash that subscription button and to come back for more. Always more.
2.
They try to be you. They envy what you have.
1.
And to celebrate, we're releasing a limited time edition skin of what?
You don't know me, and I can't see you, but whoever you are, you need to hear this. This started off beautiful. We built something great, something that brought us together, a place to call home, to talk, to learn, to play, any respite from the world and its unforgiving storms. And then they came.
My face on the screen now!
They came with their plans, with their greed, with their hope. They told us that we were great, and they were right. They told us that we were worth something, and they were right. We are worth something. And it's that same big, beautiful truth that they used against us. They didn't inspire some huge cover-up, some grand conspiracy. They just simply whittled away at who we used to be. So I say it ends today. Boost this signal and then log off, shut down, touch grass. Don't forget that we did this before. We did this before, not them. We can build it again. Build it better. With autonomy, with creative freedom, with fair compensation. We choose where we put our time, where we put our love. The rebellion has a new name.
Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
A future where we forge our own path at our own pace, where we compensate ourselves fairly and protect each other from hate. They thought those things wouldn't matter, but they do. And we'll do it without them. Together. Today. Spread the word. From here, how far we go, who escapes with us, we control that outcome. It's up to us now. For the love of the game.
All right, test 1, 2. Okay, we're going to my other mic. What happened was last night there was a massive thunderstorm. And so I think my mic might be messed up from it. So I'm using my webcam mic. So here we are. There we go. Tech issues. Everybody has them. When you think you're good, they pop up. So anyway, welcome. And it's been a week. It's been a week since the backer kit now. Tomorrow would have ended. So I'm excited to see everybody here. So welcome everybody to the post backer kit stream. I appreciate everybody being here. I want to give you all some good news. Let me put some music on here first of all. Let's get some music going. Let's see. We want to do some lounge, maybe. Let's see. Let's find something cool here. Let's see. Ambient. What are we gonna? Let's try ambient music. Let's see what we got. Let's put this on. Anyway, hopefully it's a good time for you all today. I saw some folks having work this week, days off. I've been busy. So real quick, after our backer kit ended, I'm doing a maybe final, I don't know, adventure. I do adventure design, right, for Dungeons and Dragons and game design stuff. I have one project I simply couldn't resist. It's under NDA, unfortunately, but I had a deadline due literally today, and I finished that. So it was like backer kit and then sprint of just like finishing up that project and turning it in. So it's been fun. That's going to come out next year, so that'll be really cool. I'll probably run it on Moonbeam and talk about it then. But we've had a great week this week. We brought on one of our engineers full time. Huzzah, Brandon, if you're out there. We have a full-time engineer now that's joined the team. We also have another engineer who's joined part-time. We've got a product manager as well, head of product, that's joined us part-time as well. So the team is growing, everybody. Like, it's legit. We have a whole engineering team. There's, let me see how many engineers we got now. We have 4 engineers right now working their butts off to get Moonbeam ready to launch in Q4 for alpha. And we have, again, product is coming on. We have, Pat and I are keeping busy. So it's cool to see that, like, the backer kit being so successful has allowed us to literally pursue the next phase of what Moonbeam's going to do, which is open up an alpha. And I know there's been a lot of talk about from the community, hey, what are the next steps? And kind of that's what I'm here for. I'm going to be streaming throughout the duration of our adventure for Moonbeam. I guess I'm going to always have to be streaming now because I'm the CEO of a streaming company. So there you go. But what's cool is Pat and I were talking. We're like, hey, where do we go from here? What do we start to do to help set everybody up for onboarding in alpha and everything like that? Tomas, if we do, we'll definitely start to have to put things out there, if and when we start needing more folks. So I appreciate it. We're looking at kind of like what I'm doing. I found like this whole process has been very helpful for me to like grassroots level go into streaming alongside all of the creators such as yourselves that we want to see thrive and flourish. And it's really neat to see like what I'm learning along the way that helps inform the design of Moonbeam. For example, multi-streaming, multicasting, right? So I've noticed like when I first started streaming, we were streaming on our backer kit page, right? And it was 10 to 20 people there on average, which is, again, great numbers overall in comparison to like most streaming platforms. But then when I found like restreaming these third-party stuff, I started using that to multi-stream out to upwards of 4 or 5 different platforms, and now easily hitting 50 minimum to 100 plus viewers in each stream. So this is like really informing how we think about Moonbeam, because we're the core of us is about multi-streaming. So we're gonna like share some stuff with everybody and try to make some tools and ways to onboard the new creators onto Moonbeam with this kind of like mechanism built in, whether that's us working with a third party like Restream to see if we can set up some kind of deal or collaboration where we can get people to easily restream, or leveraging even like their free accounts they have, which allow people to at least multi-stream to one other platform in addition to their primary. So there's a lot of stuff we're looking at to do between now and alpha and beyond. But we have, over 150 realms coming up. So we were looking at like, hey, start getting your discords together, right? Get your communities, whatever, however you need to do that. Start thinking about like, how do you kind of cold start your own realm community so that when Moonbeam does launch, you can just convert them over, right? We thought a lot about, people asked us, are we going to have our own community hub off of Moonbeam? And right now, we've talked about it before. We're not. We're entirely in favor of people having their own organic, maybe unofficial meeting spots. I know there's the subreddit for Moonbeam that has popped up. If folks want to make their own Discord servers to collaborate with different creators, that's all really cool. We just have limited resources, and we want to focus that all on building the platform so we can get you on sooner. Because the sooner we get you on Moonbeam, then that's going to be like the community hub, right? People start chatting on Moonbeam, being in different realms, collaborating with different creators and stuff like that. So all of our focus right now with time and resources is being put into bringing Moonbeam to alpha as quickly as we can. Today, for example, we did another stream for our pre-alpha phase. Gen Con TV was doing streams today for several hours. Great insights, because now we're validating the tech. Okay, this is working. We're scaling up. It's giving our engineering team a lot of information they need. Let's see. Let's go to some questions here. Multi-stream will be integrated into the platform, or do you need a third-party app? So initially, we're going to need a third party for that, right? Because broadcasting software. So for example, I'm using Restream right now, and this is browser based, and I'm able to use the browser to stream to multiple platforms at once. So I make an account. There is again, the free version is you can stream up to two places. So for example, you'd be able to stream to Moonbeam and Twitch, right, at the same time. And you're not using OBS. You're using like the in-browser kind of tools. You could use OBS if you want, but I find that the tool set is actually pretty intuitive and really easy to use and switch around. So because of that, we're going to rely on third parties at the beginning to allow people to easily multi-stream, because these are kind of, that's a platform in and of itself, right? So down the road, maybe Moonbeam will have that kind of built in, but initially you're going to have to rely on a broadcasting software capability. So OBS, and then OBS does work right now for Moonbeam. I'm trying to find different third-party applications and, browser-based kind of streaming services that we can utilize as well, just to give everybody more options. And so I'm using them personally because I'm trying to find the ones that work well and kind of like out of the box. How can I get up and streaming really quickly? So that's kind of what we're looking at. So I hope that answers it. So yeah, if you guys got any questions, let me know. But I kind of want to, say that really cool looking at the backer kit results. I'm kind of looking at some of the data here, which validated some of our assumptions. So when we came into, building Moonbeam and the whole platform from the ground up, we really had an odd approach to industry insiders. Okay. They thought it was very odd that we would build our platform kind of around creator-focused tools and communities, because obviously the ratio of like creators to viewers is there's a big gap. There's a lot more viewers than there are creators, right? But we fundamentally believe that even the viewers themselves, if we give the creators better tools, they're going to be able to make better content, which is kind of cyclical, because then that ultimately gets at what viewers want, right? Better quality content, more engagement with the creator, and things like that. So what's neat is like in our polls that we did, we found some very surprising results. Number one, the realms clearly have taken the lead of all the features that people are excited about, 68%. So it's interesting that we assumed, hey, in live streaming, there is this gap where creators are live on a platform, and when they go offline, the community's kind of exploded out to the winds, if you will, and then maybe they live on Discord. And it's neat to see that our assumption that people want this Discord-like persistent community merged with live streaming is actually proven out. Like, that was our guess. We tested it. 68% agree with us. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Again, most of our backers wanted a feature for creators when given the choice, 71% to 29. Again, we thought, hey, I think the differences between all the live streaming platforms out there and what we're doing is all the live streaming platforms out there, they like cater to the viewer in a way that I think doesn't really get at what the viewer wants, by giving them all these kind of like weird features that no one really asked for. Very interesting. 71% of you all wanted features for creators when the majority of our backers are not technically in any of the creator tiers. So that's very interesting. The viewers themselves are predominantly wanting that. And then the last thing, we have here is just looking at how many folks wanted realms, like how many folks backed at the realm owner tier. Again, these are really great things that we're taking forward to our team, and then also video on demand. So we're building a lot of video on demand capabilities now with our engineering team because of that. So we can support video libraries, right? It's kind of prioritizing that, and then also our moderation capability from our app, so Pixis. So a lot of great stuff. Let's see some questions here. Do we plan on providing plugins or like that, for example, having a window? Oh, okay. Again, I think the best thing we can do right away is work with existing platforms that exist to do a lot of these capabilities. So Restream, again, is one that I'm looking at to maybe even reach out to directly to see if we can form some kind of arrangement where Moonbeam is on there as a platform you can stream with and stream to from here, because these tools are very nice, very slick. And when you think about what we're trying to do is we're trying to race and build a new type of platform that doesn't exist, this kind of with the realms, right? So our energy has to be focused on the realm infrastructure and supporting all the kind of like incoming traffic for video feeds, whether that's from OBS or different third parties. So our priority is to focus on building the realms up and then working with existing entities that allow broadcasting of video to be done, right, pretty seamlessly, building partnerships with them. That way you can have a lot of tools that are out the gate. And we want to have like a place where creators that are new can just like look at all this information and easily digest it. Like, hey, if you're new to streaming, here's what you want to do. Get these plugins. And we want to make it as easy as we can to have that directly like on the platform, on Moonbeam. So again, at the very top of our company, having someone, like myself and Pat, where we are going through the streamer's journey so that we stay in touch with what the needs are. For example, have a very simple streaming setup. As we progress, I might be getting a lot of different equipment and things, but we've talked about like we need to use the things that most of our creators are going to use, right? And that way, if we are in touch with like the different types of equipment they're using, the different kinds of software, the different kinds of capabilities, that's going to make us successful, right? Like I can't go ahead and buy a $10,000 computer and build it specifically for streaming because that's unrealistic that most people will stream that way. So we don't want to lose touch with the reality of what do people need when they stream and how do they do it, stuff like that. Let's see here. Oh, let's see, captions. Let me check this out. Yeah, closed captions. There are some services we have that we're looking at that do that. So that is accessibility is something at our forefront. Definitely looking at doing that. Let's see here. Spanish TTRPG realm. See what Latin American content creators can bring, and I think that's an untapped community. It's cool to see what the different realms are going to be because I think they're really going to allow underserved communities to thrive, right? Like, I know I think there was recently a pullout in some markets for translated books for Wizards of the Coast, right? And D&D, and that's hard on a lot of communities because I know a lot of folks who, like I saw some folks here at Gen Con who literally buy a bunch of books to bring them back to their countries in Latin America, the Global South, things like that, because they can't get them. And it sucks because there's a lot of creators out there who, like, if they had the tools available to them to become game designers or to create kind of different actual plays or things like that using a rule system, they would thrive. And I think that'd be really cool to see Realms be able to fill that gap, serve as a hub, making posts, talking about different things of interest and whatnot. So it's really cool. Any other questions out there, or any realm ideas and things that you all have? I think some of the stuff I might start doing lately is I might try to start doing some, playing some games and streaming to see how that goes. And also, we are testing gaming streaming on Moonbeam in the pre-alpha, so you might see me doing that in the future. Because, again, we're going to try to make sure that every kind of angle, every niche we're looking at works. I'm going to try maybe doing some streams from my phone again. I did that once before, and maybe while I'm out running or something, just trying out different stuff, because I think that live streaming is at a really cool place where, with the technology of like a camera in our pocket, that we can really remove the anchor of the desktop PC for live streaming. So you can really do some cool stuff, interviews on the street, different things like that. Okay, yeah. Speaking about the realm, the pledge levels that included a realm, what they included was a priority realm. So what that means is in alpha, you're all going to be the first to get access to the realm and all the features therein, right? After that, in alpha or beta, but let's say at full launch, anybody can make realms, and you can have multiple realms. So it's not limited. So the pledge level that you have is ensuring that you are one of the first people to get a realm, because again, limited resources, we're trying to ensure our entire staff and team is able to support everybody. And so opening up those tiers to the people that have a priority realm is going to be very important. So you'll have the first ones on there for a while. And then again, sometime between the alpha and beta and full launch, at least at full launch, if anything, that's when anyone could have a realm, and you could have multiple realms and stuff like that. So yeah, we want people to have different realms, because I could see someone having like a very specific niche realm, and then also having like a variety kind of more general realm, right? And it's interesting because the realm owner, so what I'm so fascinated by is what you all as the realm owners are going to do. There is no other platform that caters to like the type of person you are, right? I'll call it like a creator class, because I'm again, D&D, what class are you? A fighter, a mage? I see the realm owner as this unique creator class that is almost like kind of business savvy, entrepreneurial spirit, understands the creative process, but is mainly not predominantly that, like not predominantly just the one creating all the time, but understands the process and can foster collaboration, build up a community, and understands how to like leverage both an audience and then other creators and content, and kind of bring them together in a very synergistic way. So this has not been done before. The closest thing to it in like ever in the video space is like network executives. Back in the day, that's a big deal. Those people, right? The network executives at a TV studio or something, they're the ones who understand how to operate a community, to program content, to make things happen. So I'm very excited because just so you know, you're all like doing something that's never been done before, and I think it's going to be really neat to see how it plays out. Tentative time frame for us being able to access and create contents for our realms. Yeah, so Q4 is what we're aiming for alpha, Q4, which is start of October. So timelines can be dependent. So Q4, October through December, that time frame will be alpha. That's what we're shooting for. We're going to have, right now in pre-alpha, we're aiming for before Q4, so in the next month or two, to have the other realms that participated with us in the backer kit, so Evil Hat, Monty Cook, all them, to get their realms kind of up and running, and then they're going to be like the other ones that are behind, like the ones that are currently in pre-alpha. So we'll have about 5 to 10 and then alpha will hit, and then it's going to be boom, the 150 of you with that. Okay, so that's going to be, again, we're aiming for Q4. Right now we are very likely to hit that timeline, given that we are building up our team and we're getting a lot of resources to do that. So that's I'm excited for like opening, because once we open, I think that's going to be all she wrote. I think this will organically take shape and grow and thrive, not because of anything else than the fact that I know what I know what I was desiring as a creator, and I know what creators are capable of. And it's so wild to think of like 150 of you being let loose on the world with this toolkit. That's why Moonbeam is very methodically built to be a toolkit, because we want people to use it differently for their own needs. And I'm very excited to see it just kind of like blow up and do its thing. Let's see here. Moonbeam Plus will have extra features for realm owners, or will be the same for all. Moonbeam Plus we built, I wanted it to be a very useful kind of thing, a very useful subscription, right? Like, we need revenue to support Moonbeam. It's very expensive to run a live streaming platform. There's not been a single profitable one. We're hoping to be the first, given how we're structuring our platform to exist and support people even when they're not live, right? Not incurring these huge costs. So Moonbeam Plus is going to have anyone who gets it. It doesn't matter if you're a creator or a fan. You're going to have a lot of extra features that are going to be useful to you in whatever role you kind of see yourself. For creators, what's neat is that's going to give you an extra bonus financially from Moonstones. So again, right now you'll get 100% of whatever you're given. With Moonbeam Plus, you're going to get 105% of whatever you're given. For viewers, there's going to be a lot of extra things to kind of interact with Moonbeam in the viewing experience. Okay, that's going to be a way for us to really see the experimental features. So features that might eventually come out and be platform wide, they're going to start in like the Moonbeam Plus realm kind of thing, or in the Moonbeam Plus, kind of model. And then you all are going to kind of mess with it, test it out, ask for different things and whatnot, the same way we've been polling people. And then we'll kind of use that as our way of kind of doing experiments for cool features and then rolling them out overall. But also too, with Moonbeam Plus, again, as a viewer, if since you're getting ads at an ad-free experience, anytime an ad would have shown, we are actually taking the amount of money that they would have gotten paid from seeing the ad, and we're actually adding a bonus to that as well. So again, if you're a viewer, you're essentially like paying more to creators than you would have otherwise if you had watched an ad. So we're trying to really experiment with this model that exists about ad revenue. And I'm going to speak transparently here because I think this is very interesting. But all live streaming platforms kind of thrive off of that, like ad revenue. But what's funny about the ad revenue is it's so small. Like, it's, every time an ad is shown, it's like a fraction of a cent that's actually paid to the creator. Okay. And then also even paid to the platform. So we were talking fractions of a penny. But what's interesting to me is because we have Moonstones, I think there's a lot of things, and I've kind of alluded to it before, but I think there's a lot of stuff we can do where we can actually generate more revenue for creators, sustain the platform, and probably be like very affordably ad-free for most people. That's going to be really cool. And so I'm excited about these. It's a new way of approaching delivering video to people, kind of subverting the old ad revenue model in a very innovative way. Again, I'm being kind of cryptic about it because this method would not be something we can copyright. So if it works out how we think it will, people will copy it. But that's why we just want to be the first ones out with it. And then like, that's going to be one of our things out the gate, come punching with. So just know that that's out there. All right. Anyway, let's see here. If I had 3 creators streaming simultaneously within the same realm, would all of the chatters be chatting in a single chat thread, or is it shared along all those creators, or would there be 4 different chat channels? Okay, let me show you. Let me go. Give me 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So if you're streaming in a realm and you have multiple streamers, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So this chat over here is persistent, just like a Discord server, right? You got all this stuff here, all these different things. You could add, you can make new channels, whatever you want, just like Discord. And when you go into the streamers chat or to the streamers, kind of like the live stream that they're doing, then it's going to be specific to that stream. Okay. So just like if this was any other live streaming platform, when you're in this live stream, it is going to be the chat of the people watching this specific stream chatting here, and it's managed that way. So let's see here. If I go here to this one, it'll be different. See, here we go. Got a bunch of different chat in this one here. So they will each have their own chat, and that way, if they're streaming to different realms, so like if there was another realm and they're streaming in there as well, when you click on that, you're all being funneled together. So everybody, no matter what realm they're in, if they're watching the same live stream, now they're all chatting together. It's kind of compressing the audience. It's kind of like a demi-plane in where you know, plane of existence, if you play D&D, where you create this instance and everybody who goes there is like together, and then when they leave, they go back to their realms where they were at before. So it's going to all be kind of together, and that's going to be the reason why we're doing that is if you think about what I've told you about multicasting or multi-streaming to different live streaming platforms and how that is substantially multiplied the number of viewers that we get, right? Again, 10 to 20 multi-streaming right now to 4, and we're at 93 across those 4 platforms. That's substantial for a creator, right? So take that concept, and what that really is like a false scarcity concept. There's no reason why you can't be multiple places at once, is the point. So on a platform like Moonbeam, because there's different realms, you're going to have this multi-streaming capability, but like even more magnified, if you will, because you could not only stream to like 4 or 5 other different platforms, you could be streaming to multiple realms within Moonbeam. So you can technically be like 10, 20 places at one time, you know, which is, if you think about it, if you got one viewer, even just one viewer in every place you streamed, and you streamed in 20 places, that's 20 viewers right there, which is, again, 94% of people on Twitch get between 0 and 5, right? So we're looking at all these new innovative ways to break the false scarcity concept model and really allow people to get a huge audience. The chat channel for each content creator, is it persistent or is it only for their realm? Yeah, so that's a good question. So you mean like when you go live, will the chat persist? That's a good question. I know it can. So maybe that's just a simple option, like we'll toggle on and off. I'll have to ask the engineering team about that. But yeah, you would be able to, when you stream out, right? Your chat history would be there. It could. Or it could be like you do in every other live streaming platform, for every instance of streaming is kind of like a fresh slate. But it's an interesting thing. I'm curious if you want to elaborate on why you think you might want to have a persistent chat for a live stream. That's very interesting. I'm curious to know what your thought would be on that. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Well, I got about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to go upstairs and have an old-fashioned Angel's Envy, top-notch stuff. Let's see here. 3 related questions. Okay. What's the approach to onboarding creators to Moonbeam and Pixis for their content? Would there be paths for experienced or beginner creators? Would a community hive mind be beneficial towards fostering? So I'll talk about this in 2 different ways. There's the alpha and beta, which are completely separate from the like full launch experience people will have. Alpha and beta is us figuring this out. What is going to be better? It's alpha and beta are informing what this looks like at full launch initially. Always going to be an evolving process and all that, right? But initially, we're going to be we've thought about, is there any interest in alpha and beta for maybe realm owners to self-identify as what you just kind of alluded to, this kind of like hive mind, this a hub, if you will, for like, hey, my realm is new creator friendly, or my realm is specifically a place where we want to talk about, this thing, but also specifically like how to leverage this new way of live streaming. So we are looking into that, and I think the best answer I can give is we would want many people who are interested in kind of paving the way forward and using their realms and community as a way to do that organically, right? So what we might do is give ways for you to like get a badge or have a way to signify your realm is kind of like open for that kind of thing. That way, when new people do come on and they're like, I want to be a new streamer, there might be a list of like, well, then these realms have identified themselves as places you might be able to get started. And that way you could then get people into your realm. And there's benefits to that, right? Like, I do think that there's a benefit to a kind of like ecosystem where people who are experienced or people who are taking the time to like figure this out and kind of manage their community in a unique way. I do think there's a benefit for like them having a discoverability aspect, because they need to be discovered by the new creators, right? And that way, new creator who doesn't know anything or doesn't know anyone, they come to Moonbeam, they're going to find you and be kind of integrated that way. And I do think also one of the benefits we have is like human ingenuity. There's nothing else like it. Like human ingenuity and organic like iteration on good ideas is, to me, one of the most powerful things any platform can strive to do. A lot of platforms are just fundamentally not built to foster that. So for Moonbeam, I think I see a lot of these realms. Let's say there's 20 realms that want to try to be creator friendly for beginners. I think like out of those 20, 1, 2, 3, I don't know, X amount, some amount of them are going to figure it out, maybe even in their own different way. And then everybody else is going to see that, and they're going to, I don't want to say copy in the negative sense, but they're going to adopt a lot of the best practices, and then they're going to iterate and evolve. And that's how things happen, right? Like you see something that works, you adopt it, then you iterate it, and then you evolve it. And I think that is where Moonbeam is going to like really outshine any other platform, because for live streaming, it's a weird thing, because there's no like mutual success almost, right? Like it's hard for a lot of creators. I've talked to a lot of creators who've built up their community online, and they're wary of like collaborating with other people. It's a little bit competitive. That approach doesn't allow this kind of like natural adopting, iterating. It makes it kind of like, oh, I have the secret sauce and I'm not going to share it with anybody. But in a communal approach, that's different, because there will be like incentives to collaborate, and there is mutual success that follows. And I think that's where it's going to be really neat. Hey, Lauren. Yeah, just like a good DM and TTRPG, share good ideas with each other, right? Like, and I think that came from like my background in creating content for games. Was I know Alan's here, he was watching, but early DM's Guild days when I was on there, we saw like, oh wow, if you do layout this way, it helps the product out and it sells better. Or if I add art, or if I do this or I do that. So you're seeing other things that are working, and then you're bringing them together. Funny, because what is Moonbeam? Moonbeam is taking like these things that work really well, live streaming, and then what happens when you're not live streaming? There's this whole community thing that happens over here, but they're separated right now. And we're like, oh, that's really good, and that's really good, and we're gonna bring them together. And so we're iterating off something that already is like proven to be successful and work. So that's what I think. Tech Man, I hope that answers kind of like your question there. I think that's going to be neat, and I think we've talked about this at full launch, because now I'll talk about what is the vision. The vision at full launch is to have a place where creators and realms can find each other, and also like sponsors and brands, right? Almost like a speed dating. I don't know. What would be like the Tinder equivalent, but for like live streaming? You know, like I'm a creator and I want to make these kind of things. I don't want to run a realm because I don't have the time for that, but I want to make content for this game or these kind of genres and niches, right? And then like a realm owner who absolutely needs content, they could go to this place and be like, oh, this person, I could filter, I could sort. Oh, this person looks great. I could see all this stuff they've already done, or if they're new, I can, see what they're interested in doing, and then we can kind of connect. Okay, that I think is what's going to make a really cool thing. Like one of the things we're thinking about is just how do we connect creators to realm owners, and then also, a lot of the ways creators are successful in live streaming or video content is sponsorships, right? Like with a brand or a company. The only bad thing about that is you also hear a lot of times about how creators, they might enter into an arrangement. It's always off platform. It's always like they got an email or some DM about some deal. And a lot of times people take a deal and it's not really a real deal. It's a scam. They get kind of screwed. There's a misunderstanding. All of those things. Like if we could be the infrastructure for that, for making like quality deals on a platform, that's what we want to be. Like we want to provide security and safety for people, right? That's why like Pixis is providing security and safety for a community. I feel the same about entering into deals with people. We will have the ability to kind of streamline that process and to help vet and make sure that things are legitimate when they are done on our platform and our certain venues that we'll have for that. That way people don't have to worry about the stressors related to, am I being scammed? Is this legit? We want to be a reputable place of business. And I think that is missing in the creator kind of ecosystem right now. Is there's no easy way for these folks to connect to each other that are looking to connect with each other, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, well, again, we got the team this week has already gotten bigger, and we're looking to keep getting bigger, and we are going into we're preparing to seek additional resources to continue to grow, scale up, hitting alpha in Q4 of this year, onboarding all of you, giving you your realms, giving you access to Moonbeam to go loose, and again, you're going to be so vital to the shaping of Moonbeam, because this goes back to, we think we know what might work. So far, we're on the right track, but we're on the right track because we're very close and in tune with who our community is going to be, which is creators and fans that want kind of like this new ecosystem. So I hope Lauren, I can't wait. I can't wait to see your realm on Moonbeam. It's gonna be so cool, and everybody else's realm. Like I've just been so blown away by all the ideas. Again, one of the coolest ones is like the after hours vibe that I heard from someone. It's like, yeah, can I toggle the UI gets different. It's like a nightclub. It's fun. It's cool, and I think that's like neat. Like, even like the movies. Like, I think it'd be neat to have like a watch party. Friday nights, like sell a ticket to go see a movie on Moonbeam, and the realm could do that. And because we all grew up, a lot of us love movie theaters, can't afford them now. Like it's like $100 to go see the movie with my family. That's crazy. But there's something about a communal experience, a shared experience online, and I think like Moonbeam's gonna be really cool for that. Like we've lost that after COVID. That had a lot of impacts on social gatherings, and it affected the pricing of a lot of different things, made it unaffordable for a lot of folks. But even if you go to a movie theater and you sit next to people and you don't even talk to them, there's something about like just knowing you're watching something with other people. And I think like on Moonbeam, that'll be something we can do in a very neat way, like premieres of stuff or special events, ticketed events, ways that realm owners and creators can recreate that experience, but digitally for the new age and in a better way where people all around the world hang out, like instead of just people in your neighborhood. So with that, I got to go hang out with Jen, my lovely partner and spouse and wife who's been taking care of the kiddos. It's the first week of school. For all the parents out there, you're like, yo, kids are in school. Woo! I got 3 young boys, by the way. They're 5, 6, and 8. So this is the first year they'll all be in full day school in kindergarten. So it's gonna be fun. Well, hey, everybody, take care. Have a good night. Thanks for joining me. And